Hello, football fans. We are ready for NFL picks for week number 6 in the league where they play. I said in the league where they play. In the league where they play. For pay! And let's get right to it as we're rolling on here to week 6. I had a very good week last week. Let's keep it going. 4 teams with a bye this week. You got 4 byes this week. Buffalo with a bye. They're 4-1, beat Tennessee. Chicago with a bye. They're 3-2, lost to Oakland and London. Indianapolis with a bye. They're 3-2. Nice win by the Colts in Kansas City. And Oakland with a bye, they're 3-2. Like I just mentioned, they beat Chicago and London. Nice job by the Raiders. They have a crazy schedule. They're in Minnesota, then they're in Indianapolis, then they're in London, then they have a bye week, a road game. They don't play a home game till November. Nice job by John Gruden and the Raiders, winning the last couple games to get up to 3-2. They have had a murderous schedule. It's going to continue to be bad. But give the Raiders a lot of credit. When they were 1-2, you thought it was going to go the other way for Oakland. I mean, they kind of lost to the Chiefs in Minnesota easily. Nice job by the Raiders getting up to 3-2. That was a nice win by Chicago. I know it was with the backup quarterback, but a nice win by the Raiders. I always liked John Gruden. I don't like Jay Gruden, and we'll talk about him later, but I like John Gruden. I think he can coach. Nice job by the Raiders. So they're on the bye also. All right, let's get to the picks. For week number 6, pick number 1. Let's go to Foxborough in New England, where the New England Patriots are now 16.5 over the New York Giants. I believe this spread opened at 14. I looked at it again. It's up to 16.5. New England 5-0. Beat up on Washington, no surprise there. New England doesn't give up any points anymore. I mean, their defense is really good. Their defense is unbelievable. I mean, they don't give up any points anymore. New York Giants down to 2-3, lost to Minnesota. I remember telling you guys this last week. I thought Minnesota's defense would come to play. I thought they'd get some things done. I thought Minnesota would win that game. I was right. I argued with a lot of people last week here in New York, a lot of Giant fans, including my father, that loved the Giants last week. I said, hold on. Hold on. I know the young quarterback looks good. He looks the part. I think he's got a bright future. Calm down. You won a couple games against winnable opponents. Minnesota, I know they weren't playing great, but they are a step up. And I thought Minnesota would win. They did. So the Giants are down to 2-3. Listen again, and I've said this a bunch of times. With these kind of spreads, this is super teaser territory. For you super teaser lovers and you get whatever amount of points you get, 16, 20, whatever it is, use this game in a super teaser. New England is going to win at home. That's the only way I would play this game. I mean, 16.5. I don't love laying 16.5. I don't feel comfortable taking the Giants with 16.5. So to me, super teaser, take New England. They win again. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2, let's go down to Baltimore, where the Baltimore Ravens are -10 against the Cincinnati Bengals, or as most people call them, the Bungles. The Bengals 0-5, lost at home to Arizona. Nice job, Cincinnati. I mean, last year I wanted Marvin Lewis out. I've been calling for Marvin Lewis to be fired for years. Well, he's out. You can't blame him anymore. This is a train wreck again. They should get rid of Andy Dalton. Start from scratch. Still have A.J. Green hasn't played. The Bengals are an absolute disaster. A disaster. 0-5, lost to Arizona at home. Baltimore up to 3-2. Tough win in Pittsburgh in overtime. Baltimore was fortunate to win this game. Tied at the end of regulation. Pittsburgh has the ball and they fumble, and Baltimore ends up recovering, kicking the game-winning field goal. I couldn't believe that fumble by Juju Smith stayed in bounds. I thought for sure that was going out of bounds. Bink, bink, and bounces the other way. Baltimore recovers. You know Tucker's money in the bank. Baltimore gets through. I told you last week, Baltimore-Pittsburgh. What did I say? Always a 3-point game. What was it? A 3-point game. So Baltimore's up to 3-2. Listen, Baltimore hasn't been playing great lately. Got bombed by Cleveland, lucky to win in Pittsburgh. But they're eons better than Cincinnati. We know that. So again, 3-team teaser, 9 points, 4-team teaser, 12 points, whatever. use Baltimore in one of those. 3-team teasers, 4-team teasers. Money line is going to be awfully expensive. I don't know if you want to risk laying all that money down, to get the spread to even on a money line. Use them in a 3-team teaser, 4-team teaser. Baltimore win. There's no way Cincinnati's going into Baltimore and winning. I'm sorry. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go to the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado. Where, by the way, I heard the weather. I heard the weather in Denver one day was 75 one day, and the next day it was 20 and snowing. Is that true out there in Denver? 75 one day, 20 and snowing the next? I thought we had it bad here in New York last week. Last week in New York it was like 88 one day and 52 the next. Well, Denver's got us beat. 75 one day, snow the next. Oh my. Wow. So Denver at home, -2.5 against the Tennessee Titans. Titans 2-3, lost at home to Buffalo, missed 4 field goals. I mean, Tennessee again, up and down and all around. Denver finally got their first win. 1-4, beat the Chargers. Nice job by Denver. And I hammered Denver last week. To give Denver credit, they have been in all their games and have had an opportunity to win some of them. They've been in all of them, had an opportunity to win a couple. So I probably was a little hard on Denver because they weren't getting blown out every week. I was just frustrated. They blew a 14-point lead at home to Jacksonville. But anyway, so Denver gets the first win of the year for them as they beat the Chargers. The Chargers again, I can't trust them. So this is a bizarro game. This is not one of my favorite plays. If I had to play it, take Tennessee, move the line to 8.5 in a 2-team teaser. I don't particularly love this game either way. I mean, I think it's just a strange game. I would stay away from it. But if I had to play it, move the line to 8.5 and take Tennessee. You know how they are. They look so bad one week, and then just when you're ready to write them off, they'll come up with a big performance. Never easy going into Denver and winning. Denver's been in mostly close games this year, so I think this won't be close also. Can Denver win? Obviously. I mean, so I will go Tennessee plus 8.5 in a 2-team teaser. That's pick number 3. Here we go again with this cough. I'll tell you, my allergies has been awful, speaking of the weather. So I got my water handy. Had the same problem last week. As soon as I start talking, I start coughing. Anyway, that's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go to the dog pound in Cleveland, where the Seattle Seahawks are now -1.5 over the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland opened up as a favorite in this game, but then stunk up the joint in San Francisco last night. So now Seattle has become the favorite. Seattle 4-1 beat the Rams as the Rams miss a last-second field goal. You know, Greg the Leg Zuerlein, who I like as a kicker, you know, this is the big kick in the Super Bowl. Misses the big kick last week. Come on, Zuerlein. You got to make that kick. Seattle is living right, by the way. They beat Cincinnati by 1. They beat the Rams by 1, and they beat Pittsburgh by 2. Seattle doing a nice job, though. They're getting through these close games 4-1. You can't really knock them. Can't really knock them. So nice job by the Seahawks. 4-1. Cleveland, 2-3. Got bamboozled in San Francisco last night. I mean, that game was over early. I had a feeling that was going to happen. The Browns had that big win in Baltimore. Now they got to go across the country and play in San Francisco, a team that had a bye week. I had a feeling that was going to happen again, and it did. Cleveland did not play well at all in that game. This is, again, you know how I love taking those home teams when I'm getting points in my teaser and adding to the points. So Seattle's a 1.5-point favorite. I would move the line to 7.5 in a 2-team teaser. So I get the Browns with 7.5. They're home. They got to be a little desperate here coming home off that loss on Monday Night Football. Got to feel like they, got to get something done here. Baltimore's got a game in front of them. I think the game is at least close. Now, Seattle's been winning the close games, but I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be under a touchdown. So I'll take Cleveland plus 7.5 in a 2-team teaser. That is pick number 4. Pick number 5. Let's go out to Los Angeles, where the LA Rams are -4.5 against the San Francisco 49ers. Niners, I just mentioned them, 4-0, beat Cleveland. Niners, one of the most improved teams in all of the NFL, and I said that before the season started they would be, and they sure are. LA Rams 3-2 lost that game I was talking about to Seattle. I mean, you got to make that kick at the end. And by the way, what's the Ram defense? Ram defense has got to be better. They got to be better. They got to be better. This is not championship defense. They got just bamboozled by Tampa Bay. They come back and given all sorts of points up to Seattle. I mean, I know they still could have won the game, should have won the game maybe. Ram defense, not championship caliber. 3-2, not good enough for the Rams. And you got to watch these teams that lost in the Super Bowl. There's a lot of times these teams that get to the Super Bowl and lose, they have a hangover the next year also. We always talk about teams that win the Super Bowl have a hangover. Teams that lose the Super Bowl have the hangover a lot of times. And the Rams are 3-2. And I don't want to get on them too much because they could be easily 4-1. But that was not a good loss by the Rams. You got to kick that field goal at the end there. You got to make that kick. So this game, very interesting division game, very important division game, because if San Francisco was to happen to win this game, they're 3 up in the loss column already, and they'd have a win in Los Angeles. So this is a desperate time for the Rams. I'm going to move the line to 10.5 and take San Francisco just because I think it's one of the games of the week, and you got to think it's going to be close. Can the Rams win? Sure they can win, but San Francisco's been playing really good football, and if I can get 10.5 with them against that Swiss cheese Ram defense, I have to think it's going to be close. This is one of the must-watch games of the weekend. Sit back and enjoy this one, but I'm going to take the Niners plus 10.5 in a 2-team teaser. That's pick number 5. Pick number 6. Let's go down to Jacksonville with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm minus 1.5 against the New Orleans Saints. Who dat? I said, who dat? Jacksonville 2-3 lost to Carolina. Still with the backup quarterback. Ramsey, who knows about him? New Orleans, they're doing a really nice job. 4-1, beat Tampa Bay, put up a lot of points. Backup played well. Bridgewater played well in that game. Give the Saints all sorts of credit. 4-1 without Breeze, and the defense is playing well. Nice job by New Orleans. And by the way, when I first saw this game, I said, why is Jacksonville favored here? It's one of these eerie games. Jacksonville's 2-3. New Orleans is 4-1. They're both playing with the backup. Why is Jacksonville favored? What was a big snake pit in there in Jacksonville? There'll be a lot of Saint fans there. To me, you move the line to 7.5 and you take the Saints. You take the Saints with 7.5. The way their defense is playing, I mean, Jacksonville's got to show me that they can win this game. I mean, I think New Orleans should be favored in this game, not Jacksonville. So I will take New Orleans in a 2-team teaser and make it 7.5 and feel comfortable that way. New Orleans is at least going to hang around the game, if not win it. I looked at the spread. I had to take a retake. I thought New Orleans would be favored. They're all 4-1. They're all 4-1. They're playing good defense. I mean, Jacksonville's 2-3. I mean, what's so special about them? I know the quarterback's got a little moxie, but, I mean, come on. Give the Saints a little respect here. New Orleans plus 7.5, 2-team teaser. Pick number 6. Pick number 7. Yes. Yes. My bags are packed. My bags are packed. I want to go to this game this week. Who is with me? Washington minus 5.5 in Miami. My bags are packed. Get your seats now while they're hot. Oh yeah! What a joke! Oh my goodness. Yes. Who's with me? Who is coming down to Miami with me for Washington, Miami? Let's hang out in South Beach with Sly Stallone. Let's hang out with Will Smith getting jiggy with it. And then let's head over to Washington, Miami. In front of about 25,000 people. And the rest of the people disguised as seats. This is pitiful. Who's with me? My bags are packed. Let's go. Plenty of seats available. Get them now. They're going fast. They're going fast. There might be a crowd of 25,000 at the Hard Rock down there in Miami. Oh, man. Miami 0-4 off a bye. Washington 0-5, got drilled by New England. Gruden out. Smith's still out at quarterback. The young quarterback is still on the bench. Keenum's on the bench. Now we're going with McCoy. What is this, like they're down to the fourth string quarterback? I mean, what is going on here? Two of the proudest franchises in the NFL have gotten to this. I mean, what a joke. I am not picking this game on general principle. This is a throwout. I refuse to do it. I refuse to pick this game. This game might be a 0-0 tie. That's how bad this game is. But my bags are packed. Who's with me? Who's with me? Get on board. We're going to Miami. We're going to the Hard Rock. Yes, the Hard Rock. And we're going to watch Miami against Washington. My bags are packed. Oh, man, that's a throwout. I'll let you guys handle that game. You guys show me how smart you are and pick that game. I mean, this is just... no, I'm not going near it. 0-0 tie. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here with the Dallas Cowboys. A -8 against the New York Jets. Jets 0-4, lost to Philly. Who knows about the quarterback? I mean, we don't know if Donald's going to play yet. If he does, who knows how well he's going to play. He's been out most of the year. He must be a little rusty. And Donald, he's got some ability. Let's not make him Johnny Unitas yet. Dallas down to 3-2, lost to Green Bay. I put the game on. It was 31-3 Green Bay. Dallas tried to rally, fell short by 10. Dallas has now dropped 2 in a row. They're now in a tie with the Eagles for first place. Coach is on the hot seat again. And by the way, enough Skip Bayless on ESPN or wherever he is. I think it's ESPN. Is that all he talks about? Is the Cowboys and Dak Prescott? He went on last week about Dak Prescott for 5 days in a row about how Dak Prescott is better than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, come on. We all think Dak Prescott is a good player. We all know that. We think he's going to be a solid player for a long time to come. But you have to... Skip Bayless has to say he outplays Aaron Rodgers every time they play? What are you talking about, Bayless? What are you trying to get at? That Prescott is better than Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers has a Super Bowl and is guaranteed Hall of Famer already. Let's calm down on Prescott. How many Super Bowls does Prescott have? How many times has he been to a Super Bowl? Calm down. And that's why I can't listen to Skip Bayless and all that nonsense. I mean, all he talks about is the Cowboys and they're great and they're great and they're great and they're great and they're great. And this one outplays that one. And it's all about the Cowboys and the Cowboys and the Cowboys. Get real. Stop your nonsense. And I don't know if this is genuine or not. If it's genuine, he just looks like a fool. If it's a shtick, enough already. Enough, okay? It's annoying. You're an annoying guy, Skip. And I don't even know what channel he's on anymore. I can't keep track. It's ESPN, Fox, but who knows wherever he is. I saw him babbling away last week. Every time I flip the channel, there's Skip Bayless talking about Dak Prescott being better than Aaron Rodgers. He outplays Aaron Rodgers every time. Outplays Aaron. Blah, 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 blah. And what happened? I turned the game on. It's 31-3 Green Bay, and Green Bay won the game in Dallas. Shut up, Skip Bayless. And this is not, I'm not knocking Dak Prescott. I like him. Why can't both of them be good? He does this all the time. Talks about Michael Jordan, but then he bashes LeBron James. It's like, he was even bashing Mahomes the other day. Are we really going to bash Mahomes? Skip, take a seat. I want him out. I don't want to see him no more. Skip Bayless, I want him off the air. I mean, you're bashing Mahomes now? Like you wouldn't take Mahomes if you had the chance to pick him in the draft. You wouldn't take Mahomes on your team, Skip? I mean, come on. And this constant Dallas Cowboy talk. Enough. We know they're a good team. They got some good players. I think they're a playoff team. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Prescott, Aaron Rodgers. Dak Prescott always outplays Aaron Rodgers. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up, Skip! I'm tired of listening to your nonsense. My goodness. But anyway, I'm way off track. Dallas -8 in Jersey against the Jets. Move the line to 2 and take the Cowboys. They've lost 2 in a row. They're going to be angry about it. They got a team they can handle. Who knows about Donald? And the Jets have shown me nothing this year. Zip. And I know they haven't had the quarterback. They've been down to the third quarterback. They show me nothing. 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 There's no way I'm taking the Jets this week. Move it to 2, take Dallas. Dallas will find a way to win this game. They're better than the Jets, even with Donald. But that doesn't mean Dak Prescott is Johnny Unitas quite yet. So calm down, Skip. Calm down. You buffoon. Pick number 8. Pick number 9. Let's go to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where the Kansas City Chiefs are -6 against the Houston Texans. Texans up to 3-2, scored 1 billion points against Atlanta. Nice job by the Falcons, by the way. I'll get to them in a second. And another team. Ugh, God. Kansas City 4-1, lost to Indianapolis. Mahomes hurt his ankle early in that game, so he wasn't scrambling as much. Kansas City scored in their first 2 possessions, didn't score the rest of the game. Kansas City defense, again, not championship Super Bowl caliber. They cannot stop the run. They cannot get to the quarterback. I mean, we've heard this theme before with them not stopping the run. It's happened a bunch of times the last few years. We know they're going to score their points. Mahomes is healthy and Hill's healthy. They're going to score. Can they get some stops? The Colts just ran over them. Ran over them. The Colts had one drive where they handed the ball off 10 straight times up the middle, and the Chiefs could do nothing about it. Sound familiar, Chief fans? Remember a couple years ago when the Steelers handed it to Le'Veon Bell every time? You couldn't stop him either. Now we're 2 years later, and the same thing is happening. And now the Chiefs can't get to the quarterback. At least in prior years they could get to the quarterback. Now they can't even do that. So they don't get any sacks, and they can't stop the run. Oh, my goodness, that was a bad loss by the Chiefs, and the Colts really beat them up. The Colts really out-physicaled the Chiefs. I mean, they mashed them into the ground. Handoff up the middle, 5 yards. Handoff up the middle of the MAC, 5 yards. The Chiefs had no answer whatsoever. No answer. So I'm going to move the line to 12 and take the Texans. Mahomes is obviously going to have a little bit of an ankle issue, so he'll play, but he'll probably be hobbling around. It affected him greatly last week. Still, I don't think Hill is going to play. And that defense, the Chief defense, I just don't trust. I mean, so I think the Texans will get some points on the board. Watson always finds a way to keep the team in the game. It's an interesting game. It's a strange game, but I'll move it to 12 and take the Texans. That's pick number 9. Pick number 10. Let's go back to London. Yes, we're back in London. This game will start at 9:30 in the morning Eastern time. You know how much I love that. But the Carolina Panthers are now 1.5-point favorite over the Tampa Bay Bucks. I think this spread is completely reversed. I looked on Sunday, and Tampa was a slight favorite by like a point. Now Carolina has gone to a 1.5-point favorite. Nice job by Carolina. They lost their first 2 home games. They've won 3 in a row with the backup quarterback, and they beat Jacksonville at home. Who knows when Cam Newton's going to be back, but they've been doing a nice job with the backup. The running back, of course, had a monster game, McCaffrey. He was just awesome. So Carolina up to 3-2. Nice bounce back for Carolina, winning 3 in a row. Tampa Bay down to 2-3, lost to New Orleans. I thought they'd play a little better than they did. Tampa Bay is another flaky team. Now remember, these teams just played a couple weeks ago in Carolina, and Tampa Bay won in Carolina. They had that last second stand where they stuffed McCaffrey near the goal line, where I was calling for Cam Newton to take the ball and sneak it. But Tampa Bay made the big stand and won that game, and here they are playing again a few weeks later. I'll move the line to 7.5 and take Tampa Bay. It's a division game. The first game was very close. I can't see why this game won't be close also. It's a very important game. especially for Tampa. They go to 2-4. You're a couple games behind Carolina. The Saints are there. It's a very important game for Tampa Bay. And listen, I don't think Tampa Bay is great. Their defense is one of the worst in the league. But they did play Carolina tough in Carolina the first time and won the game. I think this game will be very close in London. Could go either way. I'll take Tampa Bay with 7.5 in a 2-team teaser. And again, not one of my favorite games. I don't usually bet the London games either, but that's how I would go that way. That's pick number 10. Pick number 11. Let's go to Minnesota. This is a must-watch game, one of the best games of the weekend. When the Minnesota Vikings are -3 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles up to 3-2, beat the New York Jets, are now tied with the Cowboys for first place. It's amazing how quickly things change in the NFL. The Eagles were what? They were 1-2 after the first 3 weeks, and they had a game in Green Bay. You figure they're going to lose that game. Dallas had a game against the breezeless Saints. You think they're going to win. All of a sudden, a couple weeks later, Eagles have already caught them, and now you got to race again in the NFC East. So the Eagles 3-2 beat the Jets. Minnesota up to 3-2. They handled the Giants in New York. I talked about that before. Figured they would. Listen, to me, this is a game you sit back and watch. You don't want to bet this game. If I had to bet it, I'd move the line to 9 in a 2-team teaser and take the Eagles. I think it's a very close game. Could go either way. If you ask me who I thought was going to win, had to pick a winner, I would probably lean Minnesota at home to eke it out. But if you tell me how to bet the game, I would go 9 in a 2-team teaser with Philadelphia. Personally, I would stay away from this game. It's too tough. Sit back and watch this game. Sit back and watch this game. Go get your hero. Go get your beer. And just sit back and enjoy this game. You don't be tangling with this game in a bet. It's too big of a game. Too good of a game. That's pick number 11, though. Pick number 12. Doubleheader. My bags are packed. My bags are packed. After we go to Washington, Miami, down in South Florida, we are beaming off to the desert like Star Trek, where they can disintegrate and go somewhere in seconds. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to watch Washington, Miami, down in South Florida at the Hard Rock. And then we're going to do a Star Trek, and we're going out to Arizona, where they have the goal to make the Atlanta Falcons -3 over the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I know Arizona probably stinks. They're 1-3-1. They did beat Cincinnati on the road. I don't expect much from Arizona at all this year. I understand that. But the gall to make Atlanta favorite on the road against anybody, I mean, anybody, especially a team with a win and a tie. You want to tell me Washington, Miami, okay. Arizona does have a win and a tie. Atlanta's 1-4 and gave up 5 billion points to the Texans. The Atlanta defense is atrocious. Their secondary is porous. They are a soft, awful football team. And the coach, who we all loved just a few short years ago when they went to the Super Bowl, and Atlanta was the darling, and they were going to be good for years, they stink. I know they got Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, but don't get caught up in that. Their defense stinks. They're soft. They're weak. Hey, hot Atlanta, your team smells. What a disgrace the Falcons are. I don't know if the coach is going to last. I cannot believe how quickly the Falcons have just fallen into the abyss. You figure with Ryan and Julio Jones in general principle would give you a shot. Oh my goodness, this is a disgrace. They are an awful team. They gave up almost 60 points to the Texans. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible defense. Hot Atlanta, your team is weak. Live with it. I'm not taking Atlanta under any circumstances. I'm moving the line to 9, and I'm taking Arizona. On general principle, I refuse to take the Falcons. Who made them favorite on the road? How are the Falcons favored on the road? against a team that has a win and a tie and a better record than them, oh, by the way. And Atlanta's only win this year was against Philly when Philly dropped the touchdown pass late in the game. No, I'm taking Arizona, and my bags are packed. We are going. Who's with me? Doubleheader on Sunday. Washington, Miami at the Hard Rock. Start trekking over to the desert for Atlanta, Arizona. Yes, indeed. Can't get enough of it. Sign me up. Double bags are packed. We're going on a doubleheader. Who's with me? Who is with me? What a joke. Plenty of tickets available. Again. For both games. That's pick number 12. Pick number 13. Let's go to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. With the Green Bay Packers are minus 5.5 against the Detroit Lions. Lions 2-1-1 off a bye. 2 weeks ago had that heartbreaking loss to Kansas City. Green Bay 4-1 with the solid win in Dallas. Green Bay is playing good football this year. They only lost to Philly on Thursday Night Football when they couldn't get in at the end to tie the score, which I thought was bad play calling by Green Bay. But anyway, Green Bay's doing a nice job. This is a very strange game. If you ask me who was going to win, I'd move the line down to pick them and take Green Bay. Green Bay's at home, playing good defense. I'm not quite ready to take Detroit to win a game like this. And I know Detroit has shown me some things this year. They went into Philly and won. They almost beat the Chiefs. Detroit maybe is a little different this year. But I'm not ready just yet to take the Lions on the road in this kind of spot. If you ask me who's going to win, I'd say Green Bay. You want to tell me 11.5, you take Detroit in 2-team teaser? Okay, I won't argue with you. You ask me who's going to win, I think Green Bay is going to find a way to get it done at home. Detroit would show me a lot. They would show me that they've come a long way if they could get this W on the road. They did it in Philly. They hung on and won. I don't know if they can get it done here. That's pick number 13. And pick number 14, this could be a throwout as well. The LA Chargers are minus 6.5 at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh's down to 1-4, lost a heartbreaker to Baltimore, but they may be down to the third-string quarterback. We know Roethlisberger's out for the year. Second string has a concussion. Who knows about him? Now you might be down to the third string, but you really don't know. So what do you do with this game? And then the Chargers. Oh, goodness. Chargers 2-3, lost to Denver. This game was 14-0 early, and the Chargers look like a lifeless, just jellyfish drifting out to sea. They fall behind to Denver 14-0, and they just played a miserable game. Turnovers all over the field. Gordon didn't help them all that much. Just a lifeless, awful performance by the Chargers. Of course, when you play at that StubHub Center, half the crowd is for the other team, so half the crowd was for the Broncos. I'm sure the whole crowd will be for the Steelers here. This will probably be like a home game for the Steelers. To me, this is a throwout. I don't know if the Steeler quarterback, his second string, is even playing. If he does, I'd move it to 12.5 and take the Steelers. But he has a concussion. Now you're talking third string quarterback. I mean, how do you even predict what a third string quarterback is going to do? So to me, if the third stringer is playing, it's a throwout where you move it to pick him and take the Chargers. Second string plays, I'll go 12.5 and take Pittsburgh. Me personally, I'll just throw this game away. I mean, Pittsburgh's 1-4. The Chargers are 2-3. The Chargers are stumbling and bumbling. It's just they're a mess. This game is a mess. I don't even want to go near this game out in Los Angeles. So that's how I would pick the games this week. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. Had a very good week last week. 12-4. I threw one over and under in there as well. Very good week. Hopefully we can keep it rolling. And remember, you guys pick the games the way you like the games. I go through each game and I pick the games the way I would use each and every game individually. I mean, if you guys like betting straight up, go ahead. If you like money line, go ahead. If you like 2-team teasers, go ahead. 3, 4, whatever team teasers, super teasers. You do it that way. And I'm not going to tell you what 2 teams to take in a 2-team teaser. I mean, you guys, I might like this week in a 2-team teaser, say, I don't know, New England and Baltimore, just for example. You guys might not like that. Maybe you like New England and Denver. New England. You guys pick the games the way you like. And I'm not going to tell you, oh, definitely take these two teams to the two-team teaser. You may like different ways to go. You guys are just as smart as me. You don't need me to say, oh, definitely take these two teams or these three teams. And another thing, most of the teams I take in the teaser, they win or cover anyway. The teaser is a safety net for me. Last week, every team I said I liked in the teaser won outright or with the spread anyway, with the exception of Jacksonville. The only game the teaser helped me with was Jacksonville. They lost by 7. The spread was 3.5. I moved it to 9. That was the only time. The rest of them either won outright or covered the spread. Each and every one of them. I mean, I could go right through the list with you. I mean, like I said, New England won outright. Philly covered one. Green Bay won outright. I mean, who else here? Pittsburgh lost by 3. All right, Pittsburgh might be another one because Pittsburgh was 10.5. But you see where I'm getting at here. I mean, Arizona won outright. I mean, Buffalo won outright. Who else? You know, a bunch of teams won outright here. So, I mean, the teaser didn't help me all that much. Minnesota won outright. Doesn't really help me all that much. I mean, I use it as a safety net, but most of the teams I say I like, they win anyway. So there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. You guys stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. Thanks as always for the support. I will talk to you guys next Tuesday. Take care.